First and foremost, we're going to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety into the hopeful elect, especially in these times. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham. All right, today's lesson, we're going to go into an article that the brother pointed out via RT. And I'm just going to get straight to it and read the article. It says, global food giant issues grim warning. And this is, basically them letting you know what's coming. It says, Nestle expects prices for staple items to keep on rising in 2023. All right, and if a brother can get that, suddenly the storehouses.
Okay. Call it.
It says, the world's biggest food corporation, Nestle, has said prices for staple items will continue to grow during 2023. And as we know, within the last year or two, we understand that we've been entering into the phase of inflation, soon to be hyperinflation, in which not only the purchasing power of the dollar is decreasing, but also the prices of food is increasing.
Yep.
Which is gonna
that's a recipe for disaster, right?
Exactly. Yep. And the jobs that we have, they're not compensating. They're not increasing your wages. So
at the same rate as inflation's happening.
So yeah, that's gonna cause instability or insecurity when it comes to food. And that's going to be a domino effect as well, man.
Another point as well is the stringflation, man.
Yeah.
That they're lessening the quantity of the food that you get, and the price is still increasing, which makes it even worse. It's like you're getting hit from both sides, so to speak.
Burning the candle at both ends, some people say.
Okay.
I read that at second entrance,
yep.
6th chapter, verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
It said the sown places shall appear unsown, man. These places that was known to have always have a restock of food and different goods. Yep. Eventually, you're going to go into these stores and those same items are not going to be as accessible, man.
That's right.
All right.
And the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Yep.
The brother broke that down. And we've been seeing not only with Nestle, but in different other companies across the world, egg farms, cattle kills, and all these different things, and even euthanizations, as well as these food processing plants have been just going up in smoke. So what's gonna happen? So all that food that's been passed around, it ain't like, even though it was more than enough for these Americans, it's gonna hit these people hard, man, where it matters. So now you're gonna be fighting over the staples and over the main food products, man, that people want. The potatoes, the rice, the flour, and hoping that you can get those items, rice and whatnot, and meat is already skyrocketing.
Yeah. That's gonna be part of that domino effect of that scarcity of food. Right. It's gonna agitate a lot of people, and it's gonna start off to where people are gonna be stealing. Yeah. And then it's gonna start turning violent to where blood is gonna be shed, and people are gonna revert to cannibalism, man.
We make a funny point, if you will, during the Christmas season with Black Friday, man. People fighting over electronics. How much more are they gonna fight when it comes down to their food? Yeah. Right. Another precept, or you want to keep reading?
However you want to do it, bro.
Yeah, we can keep reading for a minute. I'll grab a precept while you had the one in Ezekiel?
Yeah, I was about to.
That's what you got?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Call it so I can get it on mine.
Okay. This is Ezekiel 4.
Yep.
And I started 9. It's like 8. It says, and behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another, till thou hast ended the days of thy siege. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley, and beans and lentils, and millet and fitches.
Salaki, let's go back to that siege, till thou have ended the days of thy siege. Let's grab something right quick. Let's go to the curses. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, 50. It's like 28, 54, 53. I think it's 53. Yep. I'll read it real quick. It says, Deuteronomy 28:53, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body. This famine is going to lead to cannibalism. Okay, and it's going to tie you in because we're going to be in a siege again. Right? It says, the flesh of thy sons and the flesh of thy daughters, which the Lord Yahweh, thy power, have given thee in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave, so that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children, to whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left in him in the siege, and in the straitness meaning a difficult time, right? Wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
Yeah, and this is physical, man. This isn't what you call
just spiritual.
Spiritual. This isn't figurative language.
Yep.
This is a physical act that will happen again, man. And when we go into the book of 2 Kings, I believe it's 6 or 16, it speaks about Lamentation 3 when it said yes in both. But specifically in Lamentation, when it says the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their children, hey, that's literally speaking of boiling their seeds, man, in order to eat them as meat.
Cooked meat, yeah.
You know? So, hey, as we understand, there's nothing new under the sun. That which shall be is that which shall be done, man.
That's right.
You know, and there's nothing new under the sun. Hey, this will come into a city near you. It's gonna be made personal, man.
And a lot of people may say, well, I know for sure I ain't gonna do that. You know, they may say this and that. But you can't say what you will and won't do in a situation that you've never been put in.
Yeah. What you gonna do when it's day number 2, hour 36, 39 or something, and you ain't had a morsel of nothing in your mouth?
And these people, the American diet is based off of bliss points and junk food, man.
Yeah.
You know, so them actually missing 24 hours of a whole meal will bug them out, man.
Yep.
You know?
So we go back to Ezekiel. I just want to hit that siege point.
This is back in Ezekiel 4:9. Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make thee bread thereof.
Because when this is gone, that's when they're going to go to the cannibalism. But up until this point, during the siege, there's the same time period, the siege coming, that is going to be where you have to ration your food.
And when we read this, you have to actually think about, you know, it's telling you to take all these so-called grains, because these grains were in scarcity, man. You couldn't just make a loaf out of just one of them. You know, so it's saying basically put everything together. You know, and make a bread out of that.
A gumbo bread.
And make thee bread thereof according to the number of thy days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. And thy meat, which thou shalt eat, shall be by weight. 20 shekels a day, from time to time shalt thou eat it.
You gotta spread it out, man. Spread it out.
And Jake eats meat every day in this society, you know? So for them not to have that as a comfort, you know, it's gonna cause damage, man. Especially when, you know, a diet relies upon the acidity of meat, as such as this one. Right? It says, thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of an hin, from time to time shalt thou drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. Now we understand that was told to Ezekiel. They didn't actually eat it out of the dung of men, but it was out of cows. You know, when you actually understand and read the account, it's like, you know, but that was the point.
What you want to get back into?
I was gonna be in the same book, but I'm in the NLT, and I'm gonna go down to verse 16 and read down. It says, then he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. And we understand, you know, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. It says, it will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. Yeah, because, you know, how nowadays, like it just said, you shall drink water by measure. And you drink a bottle of water, you know, that last little bit in the corner, you just throw that away now. But in the time of scarcity, when you really don't have any other option, hey, a lot of people gonna, you know, they may be fighting over that last drop in that bottle of water. It says, it will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully, because you're not gonna know when your next meal gonna be. So you're gonna have to really, you know, just
savor.
Exactly. says the water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment, man.
Terror, man. They're gonna be looking at each other like, this motherfucker looking at me like I'm a steak dinner.
It's gonna be like
that deserted island cartoon, man. You know, and it's nothing. They gonna be that dude look like a ham bone or a leg, or a turkey leg or whatever.
It's gonna be like on Tom and Jerry when they used to see each other as he look like a turkey. You know, same type of sentiment, man.
Exactly. It was something else I was gonna make a point of, but we just get a second address. 15. And this is that same time, but I'm gonna start up at 17, because you're cutting times and this inflation and gas is inflated. You're not gonna be able to move around, and this is before even the martial law cuts off these cities. You won't be able to move around the same way. Even now, you notice when gas got up to about $6 around here, Jake was like, I have to make calculated moves, man.
Just sit there and go to work.
Yeah, just go to work and go the fuck home, man. You trying to do online banking, you don't want to do nothing nowhere else that you have to drive, right? This is 2nd Esdras 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled. And think, even if gas ain't your issue, I gotta take a gas. I can move around a little bit. But the homeless people, or people that's newly homeless, because they'll be getting kicked out and everything too, they won't be able to move around. They'll be trying to rob you. Like California is like that place right now. The prices are so high. There's a lot of major homeless population. You got to be nervous to go down certain streets, and it's not because of gangs no more. It's because the homeless person without is looking to come up. Just for the basics of life. Right? It says, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. They're going to take weapons, particularly the modern day sword is the gun, and they're going to try to go in and take strong army for your food. They're going to go right into these stores, loot them out. They're going to start going into these houses where people prep and all of that, and take what they can. Right? It says
all those cookouts that you have with your neighbor, y'all got to know each other, family. None of that's gonna matter in that day, because it's gonna be a survival of the fittest type of spirit out there.
Right. Come look at my gun closet, man. You're gonna showing off that shit. You ain't gonna want to show it off in that day. They'll come in here and rob you and then kill you with your own guns. Right? It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. And for great tribulation. That bread isn't just wheat, white bread or rye bread or whatever. It's just whatever food that you can get, man. It might be the last pack of crackers, man, and that may be what you kill somebody over or get killed over.
Right.
In that day.
That's the very definition of famine, man. A lack of food.
Yep. That's exactly right. Let's go to the 16th chapter. Get to the point.
19. 18.
Yeah, 17. That's what I'm saying. If you read that, you might as well hit 17. Somebody else could read it.
2nd Esdras 16, starting at 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And the scriptures speak about, if the righteous shall scarcely be saved, where shall the sinner and the ungodly appear?
Because we know we're gonna eat. We didn't say how often.
Yeah.
But so we barely gonna eat. The other people not gonna eat, man.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
I want to say about that. We were talking about cannibalism and eating and not eating, and woe is me. In those days, these apocalyptic movies like The Road and Book of Eli, and movies like that, they always have cannibalism in those movies. That's a real thing. There was another movie I saw on Netflix years ago. I don't remember the name of it, but there was like in an apocalyptic type situation, and people was trying to come in and take this small little town, like a small house in the middle of like a small farm that ran down, and they had a few things stored up, but people kept coming in there, and it was just like some teenagers, some young kids in there that was trying to survive. and they had a little bit of water that would work, but they really, was just basically trying to survive. But that same type of thing, the people wouldn't want that stored up food. They wanted them. They want that meat, man. They wanted anything they can get their hands on. And I remember it so much because they had canned peaches, like preserved peaches, and they showed how they were really enjoying like a spoon of peach. It was like they were savoring it. But that lets you know, man, how hard the times are when there's nothing. You got it though, bro.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils.
And this is just lack of food is amongst the robbery that'll happen to you, the assaults of people being killed, women be ravished in that day. People in this society, men may be ravished in that day. The way this is going. And among other things, man. There's a lot of different ills that'll come upon the world in this time, man. This is that same time. The worst time ever.
As the scriptures say, in the latter days, perilous times shall come. That word goes into, dangerous, but it also goes into uncertain. You're not gonna know what's gonna be happening around the corner. It says the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
I love I love that verse right there, 19, because it's sent for scourges for amendment, that you amend your ways and come back to your power, to your God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. You come back to them, man, and then like we read, man, you'll be able to eat, you'll be able to drink, you'll be of joy of heart, and merry of heart, and everybody be in sorrow and hungry and thirsty, man, and all jacked up. We'll be safe, and they'll be in trouble. All right, you got it.
It says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Yeah, keep going.
And that's the Lord showing Himself just as well, being fair, giving Jake a chance to repent.
Beautiful.
It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Yeah, so there'll still be cupcakes and ho-hos around. You ain't gonna want to buy them shit. They'll probably be expensive. But when the shit collapses, man, you're gonna think it's all good leading up to it. But then when everything's gone, man, everything's gone. When there's a real scarcity out there, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. And speaking on that, victuals shall be good cheap upon the earth. They're speaking of now as well.
Yep.
You still got your Wendy's 4 for $4. You still got your McDonald's $1 menu and all these items. So people are still comfortable. As we say, hey, they still got running water. They can still go to their favorite restaurant and grab something. But that comfortability, that fullness of bread, as Sodom had as well, it's really blinding the minds of the people to not understand that the evils are growing upon the earth, the sword, famine, and the great confusion, man.
That's why bread and circus is always the recipe to blind the masses of Rome. Rome loves to do that, man, with the Coliseum games. We just saw the Super Bowl. We see the NBA playoffs and all of this stuff is coming, and NHL. All this stuff is around, watching these meaningless sport events. But you people uphold these sport events like they're your life, and they give you these little quick and easy fast foods, man. But at the end of the day, man, you don't see that the society's collapsing right up under you. All right, you got it.
It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Yep, continue.
For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall die, shall the sword destroy.
Man, so even if you do find something, or you become accountable and you eat that food, you still, somebody can come take your food from you, take your human flesh from you. That was in the road, wasn't it? They had that house full of people. Yep. They were just taking pieces of that person. Yep. But then what happened? There's people trying to break in and steal that. So this is crazy. It's crazy times, man. And this is not a game, man.
Might mess around and eat a human, and then your body just fully reject it, and you end up dying anyway.
Exactly. I remember that video I sent a while back. it was a prepper, survivalist prepper, or whatever. I don't know the name of the page.
And he was talking about the wood and
yeah,
the
he was
leaves.
like, yeah, you guys think, when it's a family, you just go out to the forest and just eat leaves. He said, but have you ever ate leaves for 2 weeks and see what it does to your digestive system? You ain't ready to eat oak leaves or whatever, or for any amount of time. You might get away with it a day or two, but after that, then what? I got a source of all, man, your body can't digest that. That got to come out too. And you ain't set up for that. Your body ain't made for that. And you've been eating cupcakes and fucking Kool-Aid and shit. You ain't ready for that. Brother's got another one. They want a Revelation maybe?
6.
Cause I'm just glancing over here at these at some of the words in this article, man. This lady look like she got trouble, man. Like older people too, man, gonna be falling off. They don't have the type of budget to just be buying this food, whatever they want no more. They're the first that live on a tight budget,
This is more in this article.
Oh yeah, hit the article. I'm gonna grab this.
It says, the executive provided no details on what projected increases will affect which of Nestle's 2,000 brands, a range spanning confectionery, meaning cupcakes and sweets, frozen foods, and baby formula. Last year brought many challenges and tough choices for families, communities, and businesses. Inflation surged to unprecedented levels. Cost of living pressures intensified, and the effects of geopolitical tensions were felt around the world. Higher commodity costs and wages have brought the problem of pricing strategies into sharp focus for food-producing companies as they struggle to maximize their profits without turning away customers. Well, it's not going to turn them away. What they're going to do is just stop buying and start stealing, man.
Yep. One thing I noticed just since all of this has been going on, I work in a retail store, and people have been, the thieves are just coming out more and more and more. You just start seeing just empty packages, and this is for little or nothing. This ain't even food. The stuff that we sell in our store, it ain't even really nothing. Like, what you stealing that for? But what you not gonna pay for with cash, you can now pay for with food with. Instead of I want to get these pack of pens or whatever, or something like that, or this notebook paper or this T-shirt or whatever. I want to get that, but now I don't have to pay for that. Now I can go buy, a bigger pack of meat or more bread or whatever, So that's kind of what's happening. Or I can I can steal all my food, and now I can just, spend the money on gas. Because how do you steal gas? Right? It's tougher to steal gas. All right. Do you have more in there?
That was it on the article.
Kind. I don't know if I had that part of the article. Oh, that's scripture.
It was at the bottom.
Is at the bottom? Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, down there, yeah. So, you want to hit that Revelation, the 6th chapter?
Yeah.
Start at 5.
It's Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And behold, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat, and he sat on him, had a pair of balances in his hands.
They say that those balances are judgment. That's why even Lady Liberty, she's supposed to have a blindfold on, but then the balance of justice, we know that bitch is peeking. We know that it's loaded. Like it ain't really like that in America. But the real balance is coming to the earth, and those that have been wicked is gonna get paid back for their wickedness that they have done.
This is at 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
Going back to how whatever, because it is a famine, but at the same time, it's still going to be food there. But that food is going to be extremely expensive to the point to where it's going to cost a day's worth of work, or a day's worth of wages actually, to purchase that food.
Which is ridiculous, man. A day's wage to eat for a day. So I got to work tomorrow to eat again, and I got to work tomorrow to eat again. That's crazy. People are already digging out of dumpsters now. Right now.
We working longer with longer hours now.
Yeah, that's what I'm
trying to make up
for the same wage. I'm over here looking for a second job now, knowing I'm tired as hell off the first job, but just to make sure that you have, and we still lights of the bright city is still here, running water. All this stuff, heat is on, all that's still cool. But we know that day's coming, man, where all this is going to turn. It's going to become a major problem in the earth. Brothers had anything else?
That was everything.
That was it. You close it, man.
Lord willing, that was edifying. And with that, we're going to close and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to those who elect. Shalom.
Shalom.